question. I have a husband who's a martial artist. And when we got married, in fact, on our honeymoon, he said to me, would you like to do some boxing? And I had never boxed. I went to a religious school where fighting was, well, you went to hell if you fought. There was certainly no martial arts of any kind. And it's an interesting thing because I come from an era where women did gentle sports like netball and volleyball and hockey, and we didn't do tough sports because it just wasn't what girls did. So on my honeymoon, I started punching K-Man's hands and it felt good. So then I started punching thongs because we were on holidays. And when we got back, now this is 27, 28 years ago now, he bought me these gorgeous blue gloves. And I've still got them. They've got holes in them. And I box with them all the time. I love them. Why am I sharing this with you? Adrenaline, epinephrine, impact, aggression keep you young. If you're not doing something that's getting you puffed, if you're not doing something that's putting impact on your bones, if you're not doing something on a regular basis that's producing epinephrine and adrenaline, the fight and flight drugs, then or neurotransmitters, but they're the ones that get the hell out of there, Rowie, because otherwise the wild animal's going to catch you or the wild tribe's going to catch you. They're the things, or they're the reasons why we get old. And I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in getting old. Chronologically, I don't care. If somebody said, would you like to be 20 again and I'll give you $1 billion, I'd say no. I don't want to be 20 again. I love being an old lady. But I don't want to be a weak, frail old lady who's got osteoporosis, whose muscles are wasting away and can't do anything. I want to be the fit, strong, healthy person that can stay that way for the rest of my life. How about you? So it's not about exercise, and I get a little bit fascinated, and if you're an exercise professional, please get fascinated with me. It's not exercise or movement or activity that keeps us young. It's getting puffed and lifting heavy and producing those fight and flight drugs. So interestingly, you can do that by sprinting. That's great. But what about the fight? We can sprint, flight, but it seems that it's okay for men to fight, but what about women? And I've got so many examples, and if you're a woman and you've ever boxed, how does it feel? I've got women who felt, and I'll use their words, not mine, insignificant, weak, picked on, that the world was passing them by, that they weren't doing the things in their life that they wanted to do, and we started boxing. Basic, and I'll rephrase that. I don't box. My husband's a martial artist and a kickboxer and a judo champion and a taekwondo champion and a karate champion. That's not what I do. I punch and kick. I don't box. I just use my upper body and I'll rephrase that because a lot of people think that boxing is all about your upper body. It's one of the things I do if I've got an injury to my lower body, yes, but you use your whole body when you box, but most importantly, you produce, yes, high heart rate, which is what keeps you really fit, yes, impact for your bones, because if you don't put impact on your bones waste away. One of the things I gave my mother with osteoporosis, well, I didn't, I'll rephrase again, K-Man taught my mother how to box, and she was 74 years of age. She loved it. I'm going to give you the coolest story ever. My mother came from a family of coronary heart disease. Everybody in her family died under the age of 60 from a heart attack. Now, I don't know whether that was from very poor diet and inactivity or whether there was something in the family. But interestingly, my mother broke that mold. Yes, she had 4 heart attacks, don't quote me. But one of the heart attacks that she, after she came out of her operation, she said to the cardiologist, the very first thing that came out of my mother's mouth, I think she was 80 plus years of age, she said to the cardiologist, when can I start boxing again? He was quite perplexed. He kind of stood back and didn't know what to say. And when he finally spoke, he said, nobody has ever asked me that question before. It has never been a question that somebody has asked after a heart attack. The other interesting thing about my mother's heart attacks, everybody else in her family had 1 heart attack and died. My mother had 3 or 4 and didn't. She passed away peacefully in her sleep at 98 with strong bones, strong muscles, a different attitude towards life. And the interesting thing with advanced osteoporosis, which is what she was diagnosed with, is that she wasn't putting impact on her bones. Her muscles weren't pulling on her bones. So when she started boxing, when she started walking and running downstairs, when she started lifting heavy weights, her whole body regenerated. So she built back her bones and she built back her muscles. I would like that none of us have to do that. How about you? I would like to not get old muscles and bones. I would like my bones not to waste away, my muscles not to get weak and frail. And of course, when you get puffed and when you lift heavy, neither of those will happen. So your chances of coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis are limited, if not zero. And if you have any of those diseases, you can reverse them by getting fit and getting strong, by getting puffed and lifting heavy. And that's, again, I'm going to ask, this is not about low intense activity. It's not about plod jogging or walking. It's not about going to the gym and lifting light weights. This is called lift as heavy as you possibly can and keep getting stronger. Get as puffed as you possibly can. And the beautiful thing is that we've got physiology on our side for that. Most people don't exercise because they haven't got time. The phosphate system, which is the fight and flight system, the one where epinephrine and adrenaline are produced, that phosphate system is only 10 seconds. So if you can get all the people in your life, but particularly the more mature people, the old people, if you can get them puffing and lifting for at least 10 seconds, so getting puffed for 10 seconds, lifting something heavy, yes, controlled and safely, but as heavy as they can for 10 seconds, then you're going to get a body that gets fit and gets strong. Now, the only difference between sprinting and lifting, of course, your phosphate system recovers very quickly when you sprint. So within a couple of minutes, you could go again if you wanted to. But muscles, when you lift heavy, they go into a catabolic state because you're breaking down muscle tissue, catabolic. So you need time to recover. So if you're lifting something heavy, you've got to recover from the workout, regenerate the muscle, and then super compensate, get stronger. And that's a beautiful system because you know you're getting stronger because you're getting stronger. Isn't that awesome? So boxing, kicking, jumping, skipping, lifting heavy, getting puffed, they're the things that we need to stay young and strong for long. And if you are already old, you can get back to being young and strong, even if you are chronologically advanced. Isn't that awesome? So if you have never boxed before, yes, get somebody to teach you, but do it with somebody who knows what they're doing. I'm very privileged. I started boxing with Australian kickboxing champion. I started boxing with a world taekwondo champion. So I've been taught some great skills. And I tell my very favourite story, what this actually does for you, not just physically, but mentally. I was shopping one day in Melbourne, Australia, and I had shopping bags and high heel shoes on. And I had been warned that day that there had been a spate of robberies in the CBD of Melbourne where people were stealing people's shopping bags while they were shopping. Well, that happened to me. I came out of a supermarket in the CBD of Melbourne and a guy grabbed my bag. The beautiful thing about boxing, the beautiful thing about the phosphate system, when you're constantly putting your body under pressure, you're also putting your brain under pressure because adrenaline comes from your adrenal glands, but epinephrine comes from your brain. And of course, your central nervous system fires up when you work at 100% effort. So your brain works better. So you can react quicker and you can think quickly. So this poor guy, and I actually feel a little bit sorry for him because I'm much better trained. He must have thought, there's an old lady in high heel shoes, I can steal her bag and she'll never catch me. Well, I grabbed hold of him. I punched and kicked really hard, grabbed hold of my bag and ended up causing quite a kerfuffle at in the CBD of Melbourne because I had claps and cheers. This guy ran away in pain, and here's this old lady who kept her shopping bags and felt quite good about herself. I'm sharing that with you for a very important reason. We live in a world where that's not unusual for somebody to try and steal things from you. But most importantly, don't let old age steal your active lifestyle. Don't let old age let you get old. Stay young and strong for long by getting puffed, by lifting heavy, and if you're not doing a martial art, if you're not boxing or kicking, how about give it a go? Woohoo! I feel good. No, because I box with Basil. No. And I kick Basil, and I punch Basil, and I kick Basil, and I feel good. Woohoo! Thank you for coming to Romax, and may you live your life to the max. Yay! Woohoo!